Hello and welcome to an India Today special broadcast on day 35 of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. India Today has the biggest team of reporters on ground zero, and over the course of the next half hour, India Today's Geeta Mohan in Mariupol and I report from the active battle zone in Irpin and Bucha.
From Irpin to Mariupol, India Today only channel in the real war zone. In Irpin, Gaurav and Lalit brave Russian shelling.
These are anti-tank mines that are laid on the road here.
Ukraine pushes Russia troops back. Reporters on ground zero amidst Russian bombarding. In Mariupol, Geeta and Satya bring scenes of destruction.
A city under siege. 2 days ago, President Zelensky admitted that there is no way to keep control of Mariupol.
Shattering report from a devastated city.
Russia put all its force to ensure that this critical city comes under their control.
City on Azov Sea shores is bridge to crucial Black Sea. The massacre of Mariupol on India Today cameras.
During negotiations in Istanbul, Russia had claimed it will reduce shelling and targeting of Kyiv and Chernihiv. On ground, Ukrainian officials say that clearly is not happening. Well, Kyiv may relatively be better off, but adjoining areas, Irpin, Bucha, Brovary, and several areas around are directly in the line of Russian fire. But there's also a swift counter-attack. The Ukrainian forces insist that they are fighting back to push the Russians as further away from Kyiv as possible. Camera person Lalit Mohan Joshi and I were on ground zero in Irpin, and we bring you this report. Shelling at Russian positions, and this is 21st century urban warfare that you witness. Now, this is a built-up area. The plumes of smoke that you see on the horizon there, that is where Russian troops are deployed, and that is where Russians are regrouping according to Ukrainian army, and they are systematically being targeted. This is an active battle zone where India Today is on ground zero. There is a gun position not far from here. There are also grads deployed here, those multi-barrel rocket launchers. Now, they are targeting the Russian strongholds, and if you notice, a large plume of smoke, and not just one concentration but multiple concentration, that is where this active firing is going on, the shelling is going on. That is where the Russians have regrouped to mount an operation against Ukraine. But the Ukrainian army isn't giving up without a fight. In fact, they're mounting swift counter-offensives to take on the Russian forces. What was said initially, that the Russians are actually saying that they will reduce attacks on Kyiv, but on ground that is not what is happening. On ground there has been intense shelling of localities around Kyiv. Now, there are pitched battles that were being fought both at Irpin and Bucha. We are on ground zero. All these houses are completely abandoned. A lot of houses also bear signs of destruction that has been witnessed in this area. But actively that area is being targeted. You can hear these artillery rounds. You can hear the shelling that's happening in the backdrop, and almost non-stop. There are attacks and there are counter-attacks, and the artillery pieces, they keep moving because there are also weapon locating radars. That's what we've been told. So artillery pieces, and they're in direct firing mode at the Russian positions. So they fire and then they move to another direction, so that when the counter-attack comes, the artillery pieces have already moved by then. So this is the kind of warfare that's happening on ground on the outskirts of Kyiv. We're barely 30 kilometers from Ukraine's capital Kyiv, where this fighting is taking place. Day 35, day 36, if it was anticipated that there would be a reduction in shelling or firing or hostilities on ground, that clearly isn't the case. With cameraman Lalit Mohan Joshi in Irpin, on the outskirts of Kyiv, Ukraine, Gaurav Sawant for India Today. As we report from in and around Kyiv, India Today's Geeta Mohan, our Foreign Affairs editor, and Satya Rautre, are in Mariupol. They've traveled from the Russian side onto Mariupol, which has been damaged and severely impacted by the Russian shelling. 90% of the buildings are said to have been devastated. Let's quickly cut across to Geeta Mohan for more on this big story.
At 8:23 a.m. on 24th of February 2022, the mayor of Mariupol, Vadim Boychenko, addressed his city on television. He said all schools were being shut, and he added that all shelters were being thrown open. 20 minutes later, the shelling had begun. A bombing attack by Russia that was to continue for more than a month. And Mariupol, in that time, displayed great fortitude and resilience. In a throwback to the World War years, when Soviet cities that had shown extreme heroism were awarded the title of Hero Cities, Vladimir Zelensky, on 6th of March, by Presidential Decree 111, awarded 6 cities the title Hero of Ukraine. Mariupol was one of them. Because despite the heavy cost, despite being completely surrounded, Mariupol went on resisting the invaders. 90% of Mariupol's buildings have suffered damage. 40% have been completely destroyed. Hospitals, schools, kindergartens and factories have been laid to waste. The United Nations estimates that nearly 5,000 people, including 210 children, have been killed in Mariupol. And though Russia has recently claimed control over the city, the fighting still continues. India Today's Geeta Mohan and Satya Rautre were there to see the destruction of this heroic city of Mariupol in Ukraine.
Shelling, mortar attacks on the way to Mariupol, trucks that have been burnt, there are charred bodies, graphic visuals, so viewers' discretion over here advised. But certainly a very, very sad scene. Nobody to really come and claim the body or even take the body. No postmortems because Mariupol is under siege. So a difficult time for people over here, even in the bordering areas. This is a sensitive area, so we'll have to move quickly from here, given that there have been shellings and sniper attacks even in this area. With video journalist Satya Rautre on the way to Mariupol, Geeta Mohan for India Today. These are naval mines, or what they call sea mines, that Ukrainian side has left in many parts of Mariupol. We try to ask as to why are sea mines here in Mariupol. There was no specific answer, but quite a few places you'd find these mines kept or placed. What the purpose is or what the Ukrainians were planning to do with them, still unknown. A city under siege. 2 days ago, President Zelensky admitted that there is no way to keep control of Mariupol. Today, Mariupol is maximum under Russian control. President Zelensky had wanted jets and tanks from the West, from NATO. But now, Russia put all its force to ensure that this critical city comes under their control. There were 4 lakh people when the entire operation from the Russian side began on the 24th of February, and now there are less than 1 lakh people. The state of affairs of people who continue to live in Mariupol is absolutely in a very, very bad shape. Their life destroyed, and the city will take a long time to be rebuilt. Mariupol, why? Kyiv, Rus, Why not?
Отойдите, отойдите, отойдите!
We had to take cover right now because the explosion was very close. Very, very close.
I'm from откуда? Откуда вы?
Huh?
Откуда?
India today, India.
Индия. Ого, откуда вас?
Okay, so Artyom over here actually asked us to take cover because now we see that the explosions are very, very close to this neighborhood. What is his opinion about?
Какое ваше мнение по поводу вот этой ситуации здесь, военной операции?
Это бред полный. Мы воюем против своих же братьев.
He said we're fighting against our brothers. It's very stupid, and he can't find the words for this.
Okay, and he intends to stay here, not leave?
То есть у вас намерение оставаться здесь, да?
Я буду уезжать в Киев. Лично я, да, родители будут уезжать в Россию.
His parents will leave to Russia and he'll leave to Kyiv.
For Kyiv, okay. Stay safe. Be good, Artyom. Stay safe. This is the city of Mariupol, where most parts of Mariupol are now under the control of Russian forces and forces of the Donetsk region. I'm being joined by Sergeant Yuri over here. Sir, if you could explain to us what really happened over here. This was under Ukrainian control. When did the Russian side take control?
Yeah, it's Ukrainian military truck that was destroyed by our artillery 16 March. At night, Ukrainian soldiers drop the Vinnytsia and go to the Azovstal.
Right. So, how much of the Mariupol area is now under Russian control?
At 60-70% of Mariupol now at control of military of Donetsk People Republic and Russian forces.
Also, Sergeant, there are a lot of civilian population who are still here. Do they want to leave? I spoke to a few. They said they're scared. They don't want to leave. They don't know which place is safe, which is not.
It's a difficult situation because many of these people have their house, they people here, but now they can
Leave? Can they leave?
Can leave this city to the Volodyarsk and next to Donetsk and Russia.
A lot of massive destruction. You can see Ukrainian trucks that were destroyed on the 16th of March, and the destruction continues. The buildings over here completely in a shambles, destroyed. The city is under siege, but this is a port city. It is a city that is crucial. It is one of the most important battles for Russia as well. Mariupol sits right between Crimea and Donetsk. If this is captured fully, this is one of the biggest wins for Putin. This will be one of the biggest wins for Putin if Mariupol is under Russian control. So we'll have to wait and see how this works out. For now, the stretch that we took, it seems like, has completely come under Russian control, but there still are forces on the Ukrainian side fighting to the finish to ensure that they regain control of this port city, which is absolutely critical and crucial given that it faces the Sea of Azov. windows, blown up buildings, no electricity, no water yet. People over here are staying with bare minimum. A lot of them have not left the city. We were speaking to a few saying that they do not have the wherewithal. If they don't have money, they don't have the banks working, how would they then leave their homes? Many others do not want to leave their homes. All they have is little kitchenettes that they've made outside and are cooking with wood fire. That's how bad the situation is. There are authorities who bring in water, deliver water from both sides, and then that water is delivered in these parts because they do not have water supply as well. Situation pretty bad over here for people, and if you see the people over here, most of them older lot who cannot leave the city, many who do not want to leave the city. The entire city of Mariupol, which once was a prosperous city, one that had a lot of economic and revenues, today stands absolutely in a shambles. We will be taking you through the city and through the ruins. This is a city that will take a long time to recover, to rebuild. A city under siege where people have not been able to escape. Loss of lives innumerable. So much so that the heartbreaking story of graves being dug for their loved ones in the very same colony where they're living, just beside the building which houses them, people are now burying their loved ones. That's how difficult life here in Mariupol is for people who either decided to stay back or have not managed to flee the city of Mariupol. The biggest humanitarian crisis that the people of Mariupol are facing. A sea of humanity, sea of people over here outside the metro shopping center, which has now become an aid and humanitarian assistance center. Long queues of people waiting from 7 a.m. in the morning just to get basic food supplies. This entire area now is under Russian control, and that's why it's the Russian and the Donetsk agencies that are working over here to supply food and humanitarian aid to the people of Mariupol. Mariupol has a majority of population that are either Russian speaking or of Russian origin, and that's the reason why when we spoke to people over here, many women in tears, because they do not know where to go and how to go, where to find safety, is the reason why they're staying in their homes. They come here early in the morning to collect their assistance, their basic supplies, and then return home to feel a little safer than what we hear. We're hearing music, Russian national songs, but this is all amid bombardment, shelling, and sounds of explosion. The city has strategic interests. It's on the north of Donetsk, so a very critical area once again. Sasha is our man with the military contact, so we do not face any problems. There is an absolute need and necessity to have the right people with you to ensure that you have access to these areas. So we'll be reporting from Gorlovka in some time from now. Very difficult route and a detour that we've taken to ensure that we reach there safely. On the way to Gorlovka, Geeta Mohan for India Today.